بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. Inshallah, today we will begin a new topic, a new chapter, which deals with al-Janaiz or al-Janazah, Salatul Janazah, the prayer of the funeral prayer. Janazah is the salah that we perform when someone dies. If a Muslim dies, then we have to pray salah on him. So Salatul Janazah is one of the haqq of a Muslim. So all of us, we are on a journey, and that journey will come to an end. So each one of us, one day people will be carrying us and throwing us in a grave. So this is a journey, it's a traveling. We are travelers. We are here temporarily. We don't belong to this place. So this is not where we belong. This is not our residence. This is not our permanent places where we live for a long time. 60 years, 70 years, 80 years. If you are fortunate, you will live up to 80 years or 90 years. Then we are all leaving this place. And once we leave this place, our journey has come to an end. One phase of our life has come to an end. And death is a new beginning. It's a new journey. It's a new life. So death is not the end of the journey, but it's the beginning of another phase of our life. So Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Tadhakkaru hadim al-ladhat." Remember frequently, as much as you can remember, the one that destroys the sweetness of this life. Hadim al-ladhat. Death is a destroyer of the sweetness, of the beauty of this life. No one wants to die. Everyone wants to avoid death as much as we can. We don't like talking about death. We try to pretend like it doesn't apply to us when we're talking about Janazah. Every one of us is like we are talking about someone else. We are speaking about somebody else. That's how, the pretension, the mindset that we have. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, this is the nature of human being. اقترب للناس حسابهم وهم في غفلة. The hour of death, of hisab, of reckoning is getting closer to us, and we are oblivious. We are turning away from them. معرضون. في غفلة means we are heedless. We don't want to pay attention, and we turn our back. But actually, the day and night is, every single day and night we're getting closer and closer and closer. So this morning we are more close than yesterday. When you are in Dhuhr or tomorrow, we are more close. So every single day is a minus. It's a minus for us. We are not gaining. Our life is not increasing. Our life is in minus every single day. So Abdullah bin Mas'ud said, يا ابن آدم إذا ذهب يومك ذهب بعضك. If your days goes by, then a portion of your life is gone. A portion of your life is gone. So the wise person is the one who every morning he wakes up, he knows today is another day, is a new lease of life. You try to take advantage of it, and then it will never come back, and you're more closer. So al-kayyisu man dana nafsah, Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, wa amila lima ba'da al-maut. The wise person is the one who works, who remembers death, and works and put effort for the after death life, the life after death. wal-ajizu man ittaba'a nafsahu hawahu wa tamanna 'ala Allah al-amani. The ajiz, the lazy person, the one who try to ignore death, is the one who follows his desires, his whims, and put a lot of hopes on Allah. Allah is Rahim, Allah is Ghafoor, Allah is kind, and inshallah everything will be fine. So this is the attitude of Al-Ajiz. So the Muslim, every single morning we wake up, we should remind ourselves that we are more closer. Every single morning we wake up, just getting nearer and nearer. The death is getting nearer, closer to us. So Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said to Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, Abdullah ibn Umar, كن في الدنيا كأنك غريب. And Abdullah said, إذا أمسيت فلا تنتظر الصباح وإذا أصبحت فلا تنتظر المساء. He said, be in this life like a stranger, a traveler. You went to another country, you know that's not your country. You're coming back. So if you go to China to buy things, if you go to Brazil, if you go to America as a tourist, you know that is not your land. You are a stranger there. You know your family back home, they're waiting for you. They're in your head all the times. Your departure is, even if you have 3 month visa, your departure is every day is getting closer. So he said, be like that. Be gharib. Gharib is someone who is away from his family. Abdullah said, if you are in the morning, do not expect you will leave until evening. And if you are in the evening, do not expect you will wake up in the morning. So this is the attitude of a Muslim. You're always on alert, waiting. Your departure, every single day, 3 month, 90-day visa on arrival. And your departure, you don't say, it's too long. I'm going to stay for 90 days. 90 days is nothing. Your departure gets nearer, closer, and you go back. So this is, Jannah is where Allah created us. Adam was created in Jannah. And then when he disobeyed, he was thrown out. He was told, you will stay for a little bit, and then you'll go back to Jannah if you follow the instruction. So all of us, we belong there. Our families, our houses with our names. The land with your names is in Jannah. It's in Jannah. So that's where we belong. So this life is just a temporary. Allah is testing us. We are under exam. If you pass the exam, if you know the question, you prepare the answers, that's where you go back. So that is Janazah. So when we talk about Janazah, we're not talking about other people. We're talking about every single one of us. We will go through the funeral process, the procession. We will be in that situation. We will be shrouded with a white cloth. We will be thrown there. So this is that things that it applies to us. It's not about other people. So he says, فَمِنْ حَقِّ الْمَرِيضِ عَلَى إِخْوَانِهِ الْمُسْلِمِينَ عِيَادَتْهُ وَإِدْخَالُ السُّرُورِ عَلَيْهِ. So it is the right of a Muslim over another Muslim to visit him when he's sick and to bring happiness, ease. When you hear someone is sick, your neighbor, someone you know, you have a duty. You need to visit them. You need to go to them. And when you visit them, you bring happiness. You encourage them. فإن كان في حالة خطرة يذكر بالتوبة وقضاء الديون والوصية. If he is close to death, in a difficult situation, you remind them of tawbah, repentance to Allah. You remind them to pay their debt. You remind them to write will, especially if they are your relatives, your father, your mother, your sisters. You remind them about all of this. لا سيما فيما يجب عليه بيانه. So especially you remind them to write a will and explain things that they must explain. So many times what happens, someone dies and they don't write their will. They don't explain what they owe, what they possess, the properties they have, the secret accounts they have, and their families, they fight over the person, and sometimes that can delay the burial. So the best thing is you write a will, explain what you have, your asset, your liabilities, everything. وَيَكُونُ ذَلِكَ بِلُطْفٍ, and it should be with kindness. You don't pressure them, but you do it gently. لَا يَشْعُرُ مَعَهُ بِالْخَوْفِ مِنْ دُنُوِ أَجَلِهِ. You don't show them that they are about to die. So you say, it's sunnah. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, no one of you should go to bed at night except your will is under your pillow. You write your will and you put under your pillow. In case you die in that night, your family, they know your liabilities, especially what you owe, your debts, your financial obligations, the secrets, the savings you have made, so the family should know. So, but when you're telling them, you don't pressure them. You don't tell them like you are dying now. You are dying. You need to do it. وَيَتَأَكَّدُ عَلَى الْمَرِيضِ ذَلِكَ وَأَنْ يَخْرُجَ مِنَ الْمَظَالِمِ. Also, you remind them that if they have done injustice to anyone, they should come clean. They should ask their family, their relatives, go to that person, I did injustice to him. Please tell them to forgive me. Please, I took something from him. I did this to him. Please ask that person to forgive me. So this is مظالم. ويستغفر عن المعاصي. Also you remind them to seek forgiveness from their crimes, from the sins they have committed. وأن يحسن ظنه بالله. Also you remind them that when a person is on deathbed, remind them how Allah kind, how compassionate Allah is, how merciful Allah is. When someone is dying, always you don't mention the punishment, you don't mention hellfire. You talk about the rahmah of Allah, the kindness of Allah. He is more forgiving than your mother. He is more kind than your father. He is more merciful than your spouse, your child, anyone you can imagine. So you talk about how wide is the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, how encompassing His mercy is. فَإِذَا حَضَرَ الْمَوْتِ سُنَّ لَهُ لِمَنْ حَضَرَ تَلْقِينُهُ الشَّهَادَتَيْنِ بِلُطْفٍ. So when death comes, the person is dying, it's sunnah to say the shahada. You ask them or you remind them to say the shahada with gentleness, with kindness. بِلُطْفٍ. You don't pressure them. You don't do it again and again. So if you give them a cup of water, you say La ilaha illallah. And then after 5 minutes you give them some food, say La ilaha illallah. You don't repeat many times, because sometimes the person is in pain, and because of the pain he might say something else. He might react in different way and he dies. So Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, anyone whose last word is, if your last speech, last kalam is La ilaha illallah, you will enter Jannah. You will enter Jannah. So you don't pressure the person. If they are in pain, if they are struggling, you try, just say La ilaha illallah next to them while you're standing next to the bed. So you don't pressure them. وَتَوْجِيهُ إِلَى الْقِبْلَةِ. And also you face them the qibla. You turn their face towards the qibla. فَإِذَا مَاتَ غُمِضَتْ عَيْنَاهُ. When the person dies, you try to close their eyes. So the eye, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, the eyes is the first thing that follows the soul. When the soul is removed, the eyesight, it follows, so the eye is open and looking up. So when the person is dying or is dead already, you try to close their eyes. Try to close before he loses flexibility. وَلُيِّنَتْ مَفَاصِلُهُ. Also you soften the joints, the knees, the hands. You stretch them, you lift them. So when the person dies, after some times, they lose flexibility. So if their hand is like this, you cannot open later. You cannot open. So the joints, you need to stretch them softly, with gentleness. Al-mafasil. The legs, you stretch them. So if sometimes some people, they die alone in their room, and because of the struggle, because of the pain, they die, their hand is folded, the leg is facing different way. And when you're washing, you cannot wash them, your finger, unless you break the fingers or the hands, the joints. It's not flexible anymore. So that's why when the families, when they are around the bed, they should stretch the joints of the body, the hands, the legs, the knees. You stretch them, you straighten them, so it is easier to wash later on. وَأُسْرِعَ بِتَجْهِيزِهِ. And also it's sunnah to hasten the burial process, the funeral process. It should be hastened. But in this country we have no choice, because when someone dies, the forensic doctors, they have to check, pathologists, they have to do autopsy test. So once they finish, then you take the body. But in a Muslim environment, the person should be buried the same day they die. The same day. It should be quick. ما لم يكن في تأخير مصلحة. As long as there is no in delaying the process, if there is maslaha to delay the process, then we can delay. If there's a crime, if someone committed a crime, if someone has to pay his debt. So Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he used to ask the people, when someone dies, he will ask, is there anyone who owe him anything? Has he left assets to pay off? So when there is a case in the court, when you need to do some investigation, then delaying it is not a problem. وتغسيل الميت وتكفينه وحمله والصلاة عليه ودفنه فروض كفاية. So washing the person, shrouding the kafan, shrouding the body, وحمله, carrying the body, والصلاة عليه, praying on the body, ودفنه, burying him, putting him in the grave. All this is fardu kifaya. It's a communal obligation, collective obligation. إذا قام بها من يكفي سقط عن الباقين. So if a group of Muslims, if they do it, the rest of the Muslims, they have no sin. فإن ترك, so if it's left and no one does these 5 things, سار الإثم على من علم حاله وقدر على ذلك. So the sin is on everyone who knows about the person who passed away. You know about it. You have done nothing about it. You have not done these 5 things, then the sin is on you. So if all of us, someone comes from Middlesex Hospital and they say there's a Muslim there, his body is there, so no one has claimed the body, he has no family, and the whole masjid, they know about it, and no one went to the hospital, took the body, washed it, carried it, prayed on it, buried it, all of us were sinful. But if we didn't know, some people, they knew, the hospital, the Muslims who are working in the hospital, they knew about it and they have not done anything, then the sin is on them. على من علم حاله, the one who knows only. Once you know it, it's your obligation to inform everyone, to spread the news, to work, to do something about it. These 5 things are obligation. It's farad. It's a communal obligation. وصفة الصلاة عليه 4 تكبيرات. So the way to do salah, as we're going to see in the hadith, is 4 takbirat. بعد الأولى الفاتحة. So the first takbirah, after you say Allah Akbar, you read Fatiha. وبعد الثانية اللهم صل على محمد, you read الصلاة على النبي. The second takbir. The third takbir, you make dua for the mayyit, the person who died. وبعد الرابعة, after the 4th takbir, you remain silent for a little bit. سكتة لطيفة ثم سلام, then you make salam. The ulama, they said الذي ثبت في السنة عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم أنه كان يقوم على قبر الرجل من أصحابه إذا دفن. So Nabi صلى الله عليه وسلم, when he finished the burial, they bury the person, they finish everything, he will stand next to the grave ويقول, and he will say سألوا الله له التثبيت فإنه الآن يسأل. Ask Allah to help this person to remain steadfast on the kalima, on the questions, because he's been questioned now. The angels are questioning him. Ask Allah to make him remain steadfast. answer the question. Ask Allah to help him answer the questions. So Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he will ask his companion, make dua for him. He's being questioned now. وَقَدْ ثَبَتَ أَنَّ الْمَقْبُورِ يُسْأَلْ وَيُمْتَحَنْ. And it has been confirmed in the Sunnah and in the Quran that the deceased person will be questioned and he will go through exam. وَأَنَّهُ يُؤْمَرُ بِالدُّعَاءِ لَهُ. And it's Sunnah to make dua for him. While you are there at the grave site, while you are there, you make dua for him. So the hadith, عن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه قال نعى النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم النجاشي. The Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم, he informed his companions about the death of Najashi في يوم الذي مات فيه, the day he died. وخرج إلى المصلى, and he went to the musalla of Eid, the playground where they used to pray. فصف بهم, he lined them up. وكبر أربعا, and he made 4 takbirat. وعن جابر أن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم صلى على النجاشي فكنت في الصف الثاني أو الثالث. So Jabir said, I was there when the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم offered Salatul Janazah on Najashi, the king of Ethiopia, and I was in the second line or the third line. So Najashi, Malikul Habasha, he was the emperor of Ethiopia at that time. Ethiopia was an empire. They ruled Ethiopia, Sudan, East Africa, Yemen. They ruled massive land. So Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, when he was informed about his death, he prayed Janazah. Why? كان للنجاشي يد كريمة على المهاجرين إليه من الصحابة. He was very generous towards the companion who migrated to Ethiopia at that time. حين ضيقت عليهم قريش في مكة ولم يسلم أهل المدينة فأكرم وفادتهم. So when Quraysh, they abused the Sahaba, they tortured them, the Prophet ﷺ said, go to Ethiopia, go to Africa. There is a king who is very fair and just. He will not allow anyone to face injustice in his land. Go there. So when Sahaba went there, he welcomed them. They lived more than 15 years in Mecca. So he became a Muslim. When the Sahaba, the Ja'far bin Abi Talib, when he told him about Jesus, about Isa, he became a Muslim. So many years later he died. Angel Jibril came and he informed the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He said, Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he went out in Medina, in the masjid. He said, your brother Al-Najashi, he died today. Come and we pray. Let's go to the Musalla. فلإحسانه إلى المسلمين وكبر مقامه وكونه بأرض لم يصلي عليه فيها أخبر النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم أصحابه بموته وخرج بهم إلى المصلى. So because he was famous and he contributed to Islam and he died in a place where no one prayed janazah on him, because of all of this, Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he prayed his janazah in Medina, thousands of miles away. So this is called janazah al-ghaib, the janazah on someone who is absent. You pray on someone who is absent, the body is not there. Now the ulama, they differed. Al-Imam Abu Hanifa, he said janazah al-ghaib is not allowed, لا تشرع. وجوابهم على هذا الحديث أنها خاصة. They say this hadith is specific to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Imam Abu Hanifa, Imam Malik, in their madhab, they don't allow janazah when the person is absent. They don't allow it. Imam Shafi'i, Imam Ahmad, they say al-janazah al-ghaib sunnatun mashru'ah. Janazah, when the person is absent, is sunnah that is legally the Prophet is allowed. وَالْخُصُوصِيَّةُ تَحْتَاجُ إِلَى دَلِيل. They said, when you say it's khas, you need to bring evidence. Because we are told to follow the Prophet ﷺ. We cannot say this is specific to him. And some ulama, they said, إِن كَانَ الْغَائِبُ لَمْ يُصَلَّ عَلَيْهِ. If the person lives in a non-Muslim community and there was no janazah, or his family is non-Muslim, and the janazah was not performed, then the Muslims who hear the death of that person, they should pray janazah on him, janazah ala al-ghaib. وَإِنْ كَانَ قَدْ صُلِّ عَلَيْهِ فَقَدْ سَقَطَ الْفَرْضُ. But if the janazah has been performed, then the other Muslim, they should not repeat. The fard there is no fard on them to repeat the janazah. Other ulama, they said, إِذَا مَاتَ رَجُلٌ صَالِحٌ, if a person who is righteous, who has contributed to Islam, who is a dignitary, who has done so much for Islam, a scholar, a Muslim ruler who has contributed for the community for Islam, then every Muslim who hears the death of that person, they should pray janazah. Some ulama, they say, and this madhab Imam Ahmad. Imam Ahmad, in his madhab, they say if a Muslim ruler, a king, a royal person, famous scholar, someone who is just, someone who has done so much for the community, then the people should pray janazah al-ghaib. Yeah, so they say this is their madhab. But Imam Shafi'i says you can pray janazah al-ghaib for any Muslim. For any Muslim. If you hear someone has died, you pray janazah. So if you go to some Muslim countries like Indonesia, Malaysia, Brunei, Singapore, where the madhab Imam Shafi'i is practiced, some of the masajid, after every salah, they pray salat al-ghaib. And the intention is, any Muslim who died today, we pray janazah for him. So they do too much salatul janazah. So it's a mas'ala that, but Allahu A'lam, but the right one is, if someone dies in a non-Muslim society, like a Najashi, and no one performed his janazah in that land, so the rest of the Muslim should pray janazah for him. So the lesson we learn from this, مشروعية الصلاة على الميت وأنها شفاعة ودعاء. It is sunnah to pray janazah on the Muslim, and it is shafa'ah, intercession, and it's dua for him. مشروعية الصلاة على الغائب. Also from this hadith we learn that it is sunnah to pray salatul janazah for a person who is absent when he is not there. الصلاة على الميت في مصلى العيد إذا كان الجمع كثيرا. The salah, funeral prayer, should be performed in the musalla, in the park, in a playground, in an open area. If there's a huge gathering, they should go to the musalla of Eid, where we pray Eid. التكبير في صلاة الجنازة 4. So the takbirat are 4. فضيلة كثرة المصلين وكونهم 3 صفوف. So the best way to pray is that the best thing is that the Muslim should turn up. The turnout should be huge. The bigger the number, the more, the better for the mayyit, the deceased. And minimum should be 3 lines. 3 صفوف. This is the sunnah. 3 صفوف. 3 صفوف. The people should line up. So if there are 7 people, 8 people, 5 people, 10 people, they should divide the people. It should not be one line. Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Ma min mu'minin yamutu fayusalli alayhi ummatan min al-muslimin yablughun an yakunu 3 sufuf illa ghufira lah." If a Muslim dies and a group of Muslims pray his janazah, 3 lines or more. If 3 lines pray on his janazah, Allah will accept their dua and He will forgive the person. So if 7 people, 6 people, you try to divide 2 lines, 2 people, 3 people in 1 line. If you have less, if you don't have a lot of people, you divide the few people you have. So they should not line in 1 line. So 3 lines, even if the 3 lines, 1 line consists of 2 or 3 people, Allah will accept their dua and He will forgive the person. So imagine if 100 people turn up. Imagine if 40 people. In fact, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, if 100 Muslim pray janazah, Allah will accept their shafa'ah. In another hadith, he said, if 40 people, only 40, if they pray janazah, Allah will accept their dua and forgive the person. And he said, if four Muslims who have never committed shirk, if they testify that the person who died, if they compliment him, they have good perception about him, Allah will affirm their compliment. Allah will accept the praise. So someone dies and the neighbors, his friends, his colleagues, his co-workers, his siblings, they say, MashaAllah, what a good person, MashaAllah, may Allah bless him. They praise him, that Allah will accept that praise. So it's good to have good relationship with other people. So when we die, it's very helpful. And he said, الأخبار بموت الميت للمصلحة في ذلك من تكثير المصلين وإخبار أقاربه فإن ذلك ليس من النعي. Now there's something called النعي المنهي عنه. النعي is to announce the death of someone. So النعي الجاهلية, what they used to do is, if someone passes away, if someone dies, they will send someone in the town, in the city. He will go to every corner, every house, on the street, on a horse, on a donkey, and they will announce to everyone. They will praise the person. They will mention his qualities, mahasinuhu. They will mada'ih. They will sing his praise like the non-Muslim do in our time. So everyone is in their church. They bring his friends, the workers, everyone, the people, the priest. They will mention his qualities, his characters, his qualifications. This is haram in Islam. It's not allowed. What's allowed is you announce the death of a person so that people can come. A lot of people can come. And you announce to his family. You inform his friends so they can come and participate. But if you rent a hall and the person is lying there and you mentioning his achievement, this is not allowed in Islam, and we should never do that. And if the people do that, the dead person, if he made wasiyah, if he has mentioned in his will that they should do this, he will be punished for that. So an-na'yu, informing, is allowed, but we should not praise the person. وَذَلِكَ أَنَّهُمْ يَأْخُذُونَ يُنَادُونَ فِي So this is what is prohibited. But if you inform the people about the death of someone, then inshallah that's not allowed. But if you broadcast to everyone, broadcasting, like in our time, if you look at the newspapers, there's a column. So the deceased, the information, they praise him there. So this is not allowed in Islam, and a Muslim should not do. Also, when someone dies, we should not curse ourselves. We should not cry out. We should not be wailing. The Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, when someone dies, at the moment of his death, immediately after his death, he said, لا تقولوا إلا خيرا. Don't say except something that's good. Because the angels, they say Ameen. So most of the time what happens? So the person dies, the moment of his death, when the death is announced, so his wife, his daughter, especially the woman, they cry and they curse so the angels, they say Ameen. I wish I was him. I wish I was in his place. I wish I was. So this is not allowed. You don't curse. You don't make dua against yourself. So it's very dangerous. You should only say good thing. And the angel, they say Ameen. Barakallahu wa Furqan wa jazakumullah khairan. We continue tomorrow, inshallah. If you have any questions, inshallah. Yes.
My father passed away with the kid in Somalia. And then I prayed the Janazah, even the people prayed Janazah already on him.
Here.
That's
So Madhab Shafi'i is allowed. But if someone die in a Muslim community, then you shouldn't.
I shouldn't have done it.
Yeah, but it's okay if you did. It's okay.
I didn't have a clue.
Yeah,
it's
okay.
Janazah.
Yeah, Janazah ghaib. Yeah, that's okay.
How about that? Sometimes they recite Quran and all these things, and they gather people, then give a feast. Is that allowed?
If it is not from the wealth of the person, then you give as a charity, a sadaqah. The other people, they bring food, So Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, when Ja'far bin Abi Talib was killed, he announced to the people and he said, cook for the family of Ja'far. So the Sahaba, they brought food to his family, to his children. So that one is okay, to console with them, to sit with them. But it should not be from his wealth, because you burden them. So someone already died, they're grieving, and the people are eating their money, their wealth. The wife is cooking, busy. She's cooking for everyone who is coming. This is not allowed.
And as they say, okay, we are just finishing the Quran.
Yeah.
30 people, 10 people, they gathered and recite the Quran and make dua for him and all this thing.
Yeah, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he never did this. So some ulama, they allow it. If you read Quran and you say, we give the gift, the thawab as a gift, the reward. The intention is that the thawab of reading the Quran will reach him. So this is not the sunnah of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. The Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he told us, give sadaqah on his behalf. He told us to make istighfar and dua and do hajj or umrah. Or if they did not fast in Ramadan, they missed some of the days of Ramadan, we can fast on their behalf. But other than that, reading Quran is not in the sunnah. Praying salat for them is not in the sunnah. Yeah.
No, Sheikh.
Yeah.
One last question. Nowadays, the people, they make video of
Yeah.
a dead person.
Yeah.
They show the face and everything. Is that allowed? That's number one question.
Yeah.
Number two question is the ladies are allowed to go to Qabristan? To the cemetery?
So the person, when he dies, inshallah we're going to see, he should be wrapped in a shroud, in a kafan. But at the burial time or before his burial, you can unveil the face. So Sahaba, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, when he died, Abu Bakr, he was outside the city. When he arrived, he was told Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam passed away. So he removed the clothes from his face and he kissed him. So he said, how beautiful you are, whether you're alive or dead. Hayyan aw mayitan. And he unveiled and then he rubbed him. So that one is allowed. Before the burial, you can kiss their forehead, the children, the family. They can unveil, they can remove this is allowed. But taking pictures is no good.
Yeah,
Because the women, they can pray the janazah in the musalla, in the masjid, and they should not go to the cemetery at the time of burial. But once the person is buried, is finished, they can visit their father. They can go and visit him. They can make dua for him. But at the time of burial, they should avoid, because they are emotional. They should stay behind, but they can, when salah is being offered, they can participate. Yeah.
What about if his son, he buy the food from his money, on his money?
If it is not the deceased money or the money, because there will be inheritance, irth.
No, not from earth.
Yeah.
From his money.
From his money, it should be okay. It's sadaqah. It's sadaqah. But the family, they should not go through like welcoming different groups of people and feeding them, because it's more burden for them. The other people should do it. Cook for them.
They can afford
His children, his family, they should not be, feeding different people coming to the house.
But if nobody does.
But if they have the means, the money, and they're doing, the son is doing, that's okay. Sadaqah. Yeah.
It's become more like a tradition now.
Yeah, it's a tradition, very bad tradition. And most of the Muslim countries nowadays, you have to do it because people are coming, going out, going out. And the wife and everyone is busy serving them. Instead of being served, instead of serving them, they are serving you. So and most of the time, that money, that food is coming from the haqq of the yatim, the orphans. It's from that wealth. So Allah said, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ يَأْكُلُونَ أَمْوَالَ الْيَتَامَى ظُلْمًا إِنَّمَا يَأْكُلُونَ فِي بُطُونِهِمْ نَارًا. They're eating nar because the money doesn't belong to the mother, the wife. That money belongs to the children, the orphans. Yeah. If you are neighbors, the neighbors should bring food. That's the sunnah. The neighbors, the jiran, they should bring food and help the wife because they receive people coming in their house. So the neighbors should do this work. Yeah.
Sheikh, a question regarding Salah. You know, if you say, for example, you overslept, or you missed your Salah, and you just woke up, and the time for the current Salah is about to expire, and the next one is about to kick in. So how do you reconcile? I mean, should you follow the sequence?
Yeah, it's khilaf. So in Madhab Imam Shafi'i, when that happens, or when there's Jama'ah also.
Yes.
The Jama'ah. You don't want to miss the Jama'ah of Asr and you didn't pray Dhuhr. So Madhab Imam Shafi'i at Tartib, he say in that situation is not wajib. The sequence is not wajib. But other ulama, they say no, the sequence daily prayers. So it's mas'ala ijtihad. There is no hadith, or it's just ijtihad. If you follow the sequence, if you think you can get one rak'ah on time, then you should do the present salah. Because doing the salah ada. So there's qada and ada. So Asr, you woke up at sunset, you have 5 minutes left or 1 minute left. So if you do Asr on that time, it's ada, you didn't do qada. But if you say, let me do Dhuhr and then do Asr afterwards, both of them they become qada. Both of them they become qada. So you just do Asr, then Dhuhr later, because it's already qada. Dhuhr is qada already, the time is past. So you shouldn't follow the sequence in that regard. Yeah.
Regarding the Salat Janazah, so you enter the masjid and you already started the Janazah and you missed, like, for example, one takbir or two. How you need to do it?
So when you miss takbirat, you just, after the Imam says Assalamu alaikum, you just do the takbirat consecutively without reading in between.
Like, for example, I joined them the second two takbir.
Yeah.
I should read the Fatiha
for
myself, or follow them because they are.
You read the dua, whatever they're reading, but later on when they finish, the way you do the takbirat is Allah. If you miss one takbir, you just say Allahu Akbar, Assalamu alaikum.
If I don't know, like, I join them.
Okay, and if you don't know, you just read the normal Fatiha and then
carry on.
But the way you say the takbir afterward is you don't read anything. You say Allahu Akbar, Assalamu alaikum. Yeah. If you missed two takbir or three takbir, after the Imam says Assalamu alaikum, you just repeat the takbirat without reading anything in between.
And when I join them, I should read Fatiha.
Read Fatiha. Yeah, read Fatiha. But the takbirat you missed,
don't do anything.
You don't read between anything. You just say Allah Akbar. Yeah.
Some people, when they die here, or they take the body back.
Yeah, that's no good. So you should be buried where you died. The land is the same. Yeah, carrying a body and the cost of all of these, and you delaying, you're doing more damage. You're doing more damage, yeah.
You know, before they used to send to Pakistan.
Yeah.
But now, alhamdulillah, they are educated. Now
Education. Yeah. It's the same land, so why would? Yeah.